Hi guys, we are back with another set of new releases. This is going to be a huge new release video. I've been slowly releasing these products over the past, I think, couple weeks or so, but I've just been designing so many kits lately and just churning them out that I kind of let them collect a little bit before I decided to film them all for a new release video. And honestly, I have to start putting these away so I can make room for the next batch. But yeah, I've just gotten really into designing kits and taken a little step back from foil, which I kind of said I would do. Don't worry, I'm still gonna do more foil designs in the future, but right now I'm just having a lot of fun with the kits. So let's go ahead and start with the oldest, which is the Thailand kit. This is art by Michelle, who is Mini Moments CA, which I think stands for Canada, on Instagram and on Etsy. And I just really loved how beautiful this art was, and of course the Thailand representation. Definitely had to use it just because I think it's a really important thing to represent and celebrate other cultures that are not your own, especially when they're not often seen in the community. So, and I did ask for a little help on like being able to go over the specific things that are in this art. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Here's the full box page. We have our two fashion ladies right there. We have a lot of like beach scenes, which are apparently found in the south of Thailand. And we have our elephant here, which they are native to Thailand. We have a flat lay with a bathing suit, and I put the little lizard on the leaf there. And then we have Thai tea, of course, which is popular there, and boba, of course, which I am very obsessed with myself. I put the lizard in this table too. just for funsies. I usually try to just sneak random stuff in that you wouldn't really expect. And yeah, we've got the palm tree in the background. And then we have this food flat lay, which I didn't want to cram it like too full of food, so I only put two of the dishes here. We have the egg rolls, and then we have mangoes and sticky rice. We have some flowers that are native to Thailand, and then we have this like golden accessory that people use to dress up and be all fancy, which it does look very pretty, and it's like very detailed. I love the art so much for that. And yeah, so those are the main full boxes. And then we have our deco page with the double box scene with some palm trees on the beach. This would be great for a quote that goes right in the middle. If you can think of any, maybe Thailand or travel related quotes to put there. And then yeah, here's the deco. I did a lot of like larger and smaller deco, so you have some flowers scattered around too. Apparently orange is the more traditional color of boba in Thailand, so I'm glad that I was able to put that on there. There's our weekend banner. We have our glitter headers, flags, movie marquees, habit trackers. We have our little things. These are the 4 patterns that I did. I believe this is like a very traditional Thai pattern. And then we have these solid boxes, patterned boxes, the rounded boxes, and the bottom washi with the cute little red panda in the water. So adorable. And that is the ultimate kit. So this is the mini kit page right here. So if you get the mini kit, then it's just going to be these first 3 pages, including the glitter headers, and then that label page, and then the bottom washi page. So just these 5 pages would be the mini kit. And then the freebie for this kit is this tall box of the little monk boy. which only adults can be monks in Thailand, but very cute representation nonetheless. And then the little Buddha statue, I believe, which we do have a solo box of that statue on the extra boxes here, right there. And then we have the elephant on the beach for an additional double box scene. And then we have an additional like food flat lay with I think it's called tom yum soup, and some more flowers and leaves. So these kind of go together a little bit. And then for the other add-ons, we have the label sampler, the 5th color sampler, which is this really gorgeous blue color that matches the sky. And then the heart checklists and pattern full boxes. So yeah, that is the Thailand kit. Really loved using this art. Alright, next I believe I release, I'm not sure these are going to be in exactly chronological order, but as much as I can remember. Okay, so somewhere along the line I used this Beauty Insider art, which is Sephora based, and this was from the same artist. So I don't know if I use these 2 in a row, but yes, she did release a lot of amazing art sets lately. But yeah, I really wanted to use this one because Sephora was definitely a big part of my teenagerhood, I guess, when I was getting older and getting more into makeup. That phase didn't last too long, though. I don't really wear makeup every day now. I used to when I worked in customer service. But I never was, like, obsessive about it. I had the same stuff, and I did makeup the exact same way for, like, 10 years or so. And I still do it that way when I do get dressed up all nice and go out somewhere. But every day, like, I'm not really leaving the house, so no need to do that. But still, Sephora is very popular, and I was just having a lot of fun with arranging all the makeup and products in this kit, so definitely had to use it. So what do we got? We got our 2 fashion people here. We have the front of the store and the double box scene. We have our 2 upright boxes. We have our Sephora shopping bag, and then an Hermes bag. All of these products have like their specific labels of what they are, but I'm not really that familiar with them, so I will name them when I remember, but for the most part that's not going to happen. I mean, she made them really detailed, so you can just like read the labels on them for the most part, like Laneige, Replica, Rare Beauty, Innisfree, Way, I think that's like Kayali for the perfume. I'm not sure. I'm not going to make a fool of myself any further. But yeah, those are just items in the upright boxes. And then I had some fun over here in this corner. And I took this palette and I kind of warped it so it looks like I was at an angle and sitting on that table. And of course I made the tables up myself. I usually do. And yeah, we have our 2 kind of more zoomed out flat lays here so I could fit more in them. We have our like makeup brushes. There's a flat iron, or maybe it's a curling iron. Some more products, fake eyelashes. We have this palette, and then that palette over here. We have some Fenty lipsticks, which I believe that was the one that came in the art, and then I recolored that one just so we would have more pink, because I did pinks for half of the colors, so I was like, we need more pink for sure. But yeah, those are the main boxes. And then we have the deco page, which I did do more larger deco, but there's still some smaller. And then, oh my gosh, I had so much fun with this double box scene, because what she did in the art, which I love this and I wish more shops would do this, it was almost like a paper dolls scenario, where she included just a little display stand. There was like just one display stand, and then you could kind of fill the display in with whatever products you wanted. And so I just duplicated it to make 5 of them in a row, And then I went ham with all the little products and putting them in the displays. And I repeated some, but like not in a way that it's obvious. Like obviously those are the same 3, but like I kind of tried to alternate and like spread them out so that it still like looks aesthetically pleasing when you just glance at it. So yeah, huge product display right there. It took me a while, but I am obsessed with the result. And then here's the glitter headers where you can see like a little preview of the 4 colors used. Well, I guess they're right up there. Gray, black, and then 2 pinks. And then here's the little things. The solid boxes, the patterns, which we have our little Sephora bag pattern here, the Sephora stripes. And then these 2 I recolored because they were originally black and white, but I just really wanted to bring pinks into this kit, so I recolored the backgrounds to be various shades of pink with the polka dots and the leopard print. We have the rounded boxes, bottom washi. I did these 2 patterns, and then the extra full box over here of the like little makeup vanity. And then here we have the mini kit page. I'm not really going to go over the format of the mini kit again because you can just rewatch the first kit for that, but there's that. And then we have our let's do this to freebie first. So here's the freebie, which is a double box upright scene, which is kind of a close-up of some of the products that I feel like didn't really get much close-up time, so you can kind of like read the labels and stuff. So there's that. And then for our extra boxes, we have a much more zoomed in set of flat lays. So these are like zoomed out, but if you want like a closer view of the makeup, then here's some zoomed in. And we have the Hermes bag as well in the background for those 2, and the Sephora bag in the background for that one, just to make it more interesting. I also pulled in a pink marble background for these 4, whereas these 2 have a herringbone background. So you can either use these instead of these 2 or in addition to, or since this palette is in both, you know, just use these 2 and kind of mix and match as you wish. Sorry, I just got hiccups in the middle of that. But yeah, I couldn't really decide which I liked better, the zoomed in or zoomed out, so you get both options. Anyway, we also have the label sampler. We have the, oh, this was where I kind of reformatted the add-ons. So we have a full set of 4 heart checklists on this page and a full set of 4 pattern full boxes on this page. So I did split them up into 2. And then we, oh yeah, I also reformatted the 5th color sampler. So in past kits, I put both the pattern and the solid on one page, but there were only 2 little things representing the pattern, and I was like, I spent so much time choosing a 5th pattern that never gets like used at all. So I split it up into 2, and this format only lasted like 1 or 2 kits, and you'll see what it gets replaced with. But my idea was that you can kind of pick one or just get both, and then I guess have extra glitter headers for whatever reason. But you could get all the solids or all the patterns for your labels, or you could get both and just have every option. So that was my idea with that. And then I also decided to go more functional and offer flag checklist add-ons as well, because I do have some customers that still plan with checklists and specifically flag checklists, and I saw that in their spreads and I was like, well, I don't offer that, and it seems, you know, kind of silly not to if people are still using it, and I want to have that option for them, even if it's just like 1 or 2 people. It takes no time to format these add-ons. So we have heart checklist flags as well as the heart checklist page here, which you can double those up if you need to, double these up. You have options now that they are on their own pages. And then I also finally added washi add-ons. There's only 5, and 4 of the slots are always going to be taken up by the 4 main colors of the kit because I never use those for the washi strips that are included in the kit itself. I always do 2 patterns. So if you want to replace one of them with one of the 4 main colors, you can do that. And then the 5th one will always be like the third, my third most favorite pattern from the kit, because the first 2 will be the ones that I like the best, or the ones that make the most sense. I usually try to do one more solid one that would be good to have like a more busy overlay, and then I do a busier one that would be good to put the confetti foil overlay over. So I usually try to plan it like that. And then usually the pattern that I choose for the date covers, usually that will be the extra pattern for the washi. But I mean, I can do requests, so if you like see a pattern in the art set that was not used for washi and you're like, I need that, then I can just do it for you real easy. I have all of these on templates that are basically like 1 click and it's all formatted and ready to go, which is why I've been churning out so many lately. I really got that on lock, so I can just do whatever you want as usual. But yeah, that is Makeup Maven. I realized I never said the name of the kit, which I wanted to do something with makeup, and I wanted it to be alliteration. So Makeup Maven is what I ended up doing for that. So next, or maybe this was before Makeup Maven, I'm not sure, but it was somewhere around the time I decided to finally use this art that I've been sitting on for over a year. I bought a bunch of clip art, like old clip art from shops when they were having big sales, to kind of just clear it out. So it is old clip art, but I tried to jazz it up and make it work in like the new format. I don't know how I'm going to do it with the other clip art that I have, because it's very sparse. But this one I feel like I did pretty good with, because there were all the princesses. This is, I think, Coffee Doodles Co. art, and she did a set that had like all the Disney princesses and like a bunch of generic fairy tale elements, and of course the Disney castle. And I really loved it. I think this was at the point where she was doing her own kit, so I think I bought the kit from her that featured this art, but mine that I made just now is very different, so I should have got that out for this. I might do like a little Instagram comparison, but yeah, I feel like this is like a very unique version of this art, so I'm excited to go through it with you. But yeah, it's so bright and fun, just such like a really happy, girly, magical princess kit. So it's called Happily Ever After. And we have our double box scene of the castle. Obviously we had to cut off some part of it, so the top is a little bit cut off, unfortunately, but you get the gist of it. And then it seemed kind of plain, like the art was a little bit plainer for this set because it's old, like I said. So I did jazz up some of the empty space by adding the little bird, butterflies, and the flowers. And then we have our 4 princesses that I included in the first page, and then the others are elsewhere. But yeah, we have Cinderella, Belle, Snow White, like, you know, some of the early classic ones. Snow White has a little bird that I put there because I mean, she looks like she's looking at something, and I'm like, she can be interacting with the bird. It just seemed like it would perfectly fit in that space. And then we have Jasmine here, just because I love Jasmine and I love Raja. And then for the 2 of the flat lays, I went crazy with the flowers, of course. We have the key here and like a little scroll. And then this was fun. So there were a lot of frames in the art that were just empty. And I think they were meant to like frame the princesses. But I don't know, that didn't really fit within like the world that I was trying to create for this kit. So I decided to use them as like actual picture frames and just kind of incorporate the other clip art in with them. So we have one of the scene backgrounds in there, and then I put the bird clip art in there, and that's the only place that the bird shows up, I think, aside from the deco. Yeah. But I thought that would be really fun to do that and kind of put some shadowing in there to make it look like an actual picture frame. So really proud of how that turned out. And then we have our deco page, which again went crazy with the flowers. And And then this double box scene here is where I put a larger close-up of the bird and then the horse. So it's like a little animal focused little box scene. We have our glitter headers here. Such fun bright colors. We have you can see a little bit of the patterns there. Here's our solids and then pattern labels. So you have two kind of flowery patterns. This one is like splotches. And this one I think is supposed to be like the sky. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of Cinderella's dress a little bit. And then we have the rounded boxes. Bottom washi, like I said, try to do a plain one and then a busier one. And then the rabbit. I zoomed in real close on one of the scenes to find a place to like put the rabbit so it's kind of size accurate. And that left a lot of like empty space I needed to fill. So again, I just added the flowers and I added the butterfly just to jazz it up. Here's the mini kit page. And then again, I'm sure you're wondering, where are the princesses? The other ones. So the freebie includes the two versions of Ariel, because this was around the time when the live action Little Mermaid came out. So we have the new Ariel and the old Ariel, which I kind of like that she's the mermaid version and she's in her really gorgeous land outfit, that blue dress and the giant blue bow. So we have kind of like both representations. And then for add-ons, the extra boxes are the remaining four princesses. So we have Aurora, Mulan, which these are both, they can be used as double box scenes or separately. And then Tiana, and then Rapunzel. So there's the extra boxes, and we have the patterned boxes here. I did one of them as an extra flat lay, just to use the flourish and the other picture frame that I wanted to use with the castle in there as like the picture. And then the rest of the patterned boxes, we have our label sampler here, heart checklists, and then 5th color samplers. We have the solid and then the patterned one, which is this really pretty kind of iridescent pattern there. And then we have our flag heart checklists. And then we have the washies, which just fell on the floor just now. So we have the 4 main colors of the kit. I don't really have to flip through them all. I think one of them went missing. Why do we only have... Oh, it's hidden in there. 4 main colors of the kit, and then this flower pattern for the last one. And funny story about this kit, I did the majority of the kit, like every main page was done, and then I tried to go back and save it, and it told me like there was nowhere to save to, like the file path wasn't there anymore. And I looked at the folder which had all of my files in it, and they were all gone. Apparently they had gotten corrupted at some point, and when I X'd out of them, they were just gone forever, and my computer just got rid of them. So I had to redo this whole kit from scratch, basically, from memory. So this was not originally how it was the first time I designed it, but it's close enough. Like, I have almost near photographic short-term memory, so this is pretty true to how it was, but not exactly. And I can't help but wonder which version is better, but we'll never know, because I was not able to get the original files back, so that kind of sucked. I lost hours of work on that, but it's an extra special kit because of that. I also did a foil bundle for this kit because I didn't have like a generic princess one, and I kind of wanted one that would go with this kit specifically. So this is the princess foil bundle, but the confetti pattern has a lot of elements from this actual kit that I don't know how well it would go with other princess kits, but it works really well for this one. So I did this in light pink? Yeah, I did this in light pink. I think I was going to do ballerina, and I did light pink instead by accident, but any pink would work, honestly. So yeah, here's the confetti pattern. We have 2 crowns here. Let me focus better. We have the crowns, butterflies, roses, and then the little fairy wand, and then stars. Yeah, and twinkles as well. And then for the for the bougie boxes, we have this kind of crown pattern. I always love these kind of crisscrossy patterns like that. Headers, I have started making them all just the like confetti ones. So we have these simple headers here, 2 extra full box overlays, which these are kind of cut through the design, but I kind of think that's kind of a cool look. So some bigger roses and then a border with the crown. We have our deco, we have some larger crown and rose deco, and then smaller versions of everything, and then little twinkles sprinkled throughout. Bottom washi is the crown and stars and twinkles, and then here's the confetti. And then the add-on sheet has these extra 4 boxes. We have our 2 extra border designs, and then our 2 quotes, which I did just once upon a time and happily ever after to kind of bookend the theme. And then we have our swoops, our corners, and then hole reinforcers. So yeah, the Princess Foil Bundle is available in shop as well. Okay, so that's only 3 kits so far. This is gonna be a long video. I have, I think, 7 here. So next, I did Summer Secrets, which was originally named Cruel Summer, but was a little bit too close to Taylor Swift's song, so it was changed to Summer Secrets. So that's just what I decided to go with. I still don't really necessarily 100% get like the idea of this. I think it's fun to have a kind of like magical creature beach theme, but I don't really know why it exists. I don't know, but it's fun and I like the art, so I'm game for any like beach kit that has an interesting take to it. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here, and we'll go ahead and point it out. This is art by Britt, who is Britt Marlett. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you say her last name, but that's what I'm going with because it rhymes, on Instagram. And she has been a planner for a very long time, but she's taken hiatuses, as you know, haven't we all? But she's come back as a clip artist, which is awesome, and I'm here for it. So yep, here we have Summer Secrets. We have our double box scene here of the beach, and I guess this is some kind of skull rock in the background, and this little like witch's cabin on the shore, which is so fun. And then I put this little sign here that says private, and then you wouldn't have dared anyway. And then we have the little skeleton hands sticking up out of the sand there. And then I also added in some shells and erased parts of them to make them look half buried. I did that here as well with the headstone that reads my social life, which is so accurate. And then we have our 2 flat lays here. We have a swimsuit, sandals. This is, I think, sunscreen, but it's labeled vampire skincare, which is so fun. More shells. We have this orange fan, which looks like a spider web, which is really awesome. We have spray that says smell like human. Some towels, more shells. And we have an upright box with some luggage and a bag. And then our 2 fashion people. This one is supposed to be a vampire. You can tell because her skin's really sparkly, so she's like a Twilight vampire. And then this one's obviously a witch. Super cute, and I love that like town background. Next page we have our deco, and then double box scene, which I like worked really hard to piece this together. So it was not a background on its own, but the sand and the water were two patterns that came with the art set. So I kind of put them together and then took this like surf line from, I think, that box, that background, and then kind of like edited it all together to look like, you know, the shore of a beach close up. And then I put the flip-flops in there and some more half-buried shells. And then I also snuck in a little Easter egg, which is I put these sea creatures that were in the clip art in the water and kind of changed the opacity so it looks like they're actually in there. So if you look really close, you can see the seahorse. And is that a shrimp? I think it's a shrimp in there as well. It didn't really make sense to put them elsewhere in the kit because they were all like land boxes, and I didn't think you would really find them in the sand. So that's where they are, but I also included them in the deco as well so you can see what they're supposed to look like. And there's two versions of the seahorse in there. So yeah, had a lot of fun with that box, as you can tell. I'm really enjoying playing around with the art. We have our glitter headers. Love these 4 colors. I think they're really unique colors for any kit, but especially a beach kit. And then we have our solids, patterns, which I chose the teal checkerboard. This one is, I think, like snake skin or crocodile skin or something, if you look really closely at it. And then we have the mermaid scales here, and then this kind of hollow pattern here, which there are many different colors of it. As you can see, it's also kind of overlaid onto the mermaid scales. And then, so hard to get little hairs off these kits, little cat hairs. The rounded boxes, the bottom washi with the extra box of the skeleton on the floaty. So fun. The mini kit page. And then for the freebie, we have 2 extra full box overlays. I kind of just wanted to use up some more of the clip art. So here we have kind of a close-up of the sign, and then the stack of towels on the beach and a different color of the bag. And then here we have a close-up of the like bottles and the skincare and stuff. And this bottle has fairy glitter in it, and then a different stack of towels in the back. And I kind of edited the bottom too to look like they're half buried in sand a little bit. I did that with a lot of stuff in this kit, but I think it's a cool effect. And then for the add-ons, let me see. I don't have any extra boxes because I think I used all the clip art in the main kit, but I do have some new format stuff. I didn't organize this stack, so I'm trying to get that organized real quick. We have the patterned full boxes here. I included 2 extra patterns, including the like main hollow purple, but I also included the sand and the water because I thought they just needed to be there. For this type of kit, we have the checklists, label sampler, 5th color, solid and patterned. I did kind of a taupe-ish checkerboard for that one. And then, oh yeah, our heart flag checklists, of course. And then I invented a new sheet, which is a take on the 5th color sampler, but this is a 5th pattern sampler, or actually it's a 6th plus pattern sampler. So anytime there's a pattern that doesn't fit into the main 5, because sometimes art sets come with a lot of really good patterns, I wanted to make a sampler sheet just to use it, you know, just in case you wanted to. So I took out the glitter headers because it didn't make sense to have those, and just added more labels up here and more little things. So yeah, I really wanted the kind of purple hollow to be a pattern all on its own, so that is one of them. And then this really fun kind of like floral overlay onto the hollow as well. So there's like many different versions of this hollow. There's like the mermaid scale one, the floral, and then just the plain one. And then I really needed to have the sand as a pattern too, just because I thought, you know, I don't really see that anywhere, so I needed it. And then we have fashion as well, because she included lots of fashion options. And then an extra fashion person that I couldn't fit anywhere else in the kit is only available on the fashion page. So if you want the fairy, you gotta pick up fashion. I also have been doing this thing where for one of the fashion people, I will take one of the ones from the main boxes and just make them a tall box, just because that's the way it's formatted, and I like one of them being a tall box. I like having a tall box option. So the witch girl is the tall box. So we have red hair, we have black hair, brown hair, and blonde hair. And of course, if you buy the printable, you get every single thing that you see here, and you can print off whatever you like. And then lastly, we have the washi. So we have the 4 main washi colors. And then the pattern is the teal checkerboard. Okay, so that is Summer Secrets. I'll definitely have to find a way to slot that in, because it's a fun kit idea. And then next we have Heatwave, which is a clip art kits set. Now Nellie is one of the best and most prolific artists like ever in existence. But her sets are a little on the pricier end, which again, very well justified. But she released so many, well, she releases so many all the time that it's kind of hard to keep up with for somebody who's like not mainly a kit shop. So I don't really do a ton with her art, even though I would love to. I would love to use every single set. But yeah, I kind of wanted to pick and choose because people were kind of being slow on the uptake with this kit, or with this art set, and I definitely had people requesting it from me. So I grabbed it, and also I just really vibed with this theme because I am all here for a summer kit that is not like idolizing summer, and it's not a beach kit. So, and all of my summers and all of my life have been extremely hot and miserable, and I am a summer hater for sure. I love winter. So this kit is just perfect for me and my feelings about summer. So yeah, it's called Heatwave. We have our 2 fashion people here looking just miserable. That one looks the most like me. And yeah, she's just burning in that sun. I kind of positioned her right above the little sunspot right there, or right in front of it, to show it's really being down on her. And then this girl is suffering inside, not wearing pants, because it's too hot for pants. We have our double box scene here of the outdoor like patio deck situation with the inflatable pool and some water stacked up here. Then I did a fun thing where I isolated this tree from a background from her basics clip art sets, from one of the scenes, and I like painstakingly isolated it and color changed the leaves to match the leaves in the kit. So, because there was like a lot of empty space up here, and I was like, I don't want to leave it, so let's see what we can put there. So yeah, there's a little tree overhanging the patio as well. And then yeah, there's some flat lays here. We have the fan, of course. I'm not entirely sure what these goggles are. I guess they're maybe to protect your eyes from the heat, but like that's what sunglasses are for. I don't know. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is, but I just put it somewhere and I hope it works. But yeah, we have our deodorant, electrolytes, ice. And then on this one, we have our clothing flat lay plus a little mini fan of aforementioned sunglasses. We have after sun care for extreme sunburn, the thermometer, and then the phone that is like showing the forecast as being super hot. This upright box, we have this thing, which is I think like something that you put around your neck and it keeps you cool. I have one that keeps you cool or hot depending on what you set it to. It was like a Kickstarter, And it looks a little bit like that, so I think that's what that is. And then we have a like Starbucks drink, and then melting ice. And then this one was interesting. I did it upright, but I kind of set it on the floor of the patio. So it's a little bit a different perspective than I usually do for upright boxes. But we have the water dispenser, the cooler, spray bottle, another Starbucks drink, and then face mist. So those are the main boxes. Then we have the deco, and then extra double box scene, which has the fan, more electrolytes, a cooling towel, melting ice cream, which is so sad. And then I had a lot of fun. Obviously I did the tables myself too, but I brought this house in, which I actually used another scene background from the basic clip art. This is actually one of the room corners, but I cut off half of it to make it look like a house exterior, because I really wanted to put the thermostat like up on the wall somewhere. So there it is, up on the wall of the house exterior. So that was not originally part of the clip art, but I got creative, so that is unique to this kit. Then we have our glitter headers. I also love the bright colors of this kit. Like, I don't know what it is about these 4 colors, but these are, I vibe with them. Usually I'm more of a pastel person, but I vibe with these colors. And I really like this pattern because it looks like ground fire. A little bit. Solids, patterns. We have like a little sun pattern. This one reminds me of candy corn, obviously. So every time I look at this pattern, I think of candy corn, and I'm never going to be able to think of anything else. And then we have the fans on that pattern. Rounded boxes. There's the fire pattern again on the washi. The fire and the candy corn. And then we have melting ice cream in the hand. There's so much melted stuff of all varieties in this kit. It's very depressing. And then we have the mini kit page. And then I finally got wise about the 5th color sampler. I also asked you guys what you wanted me to do, and y'all voted for me to put it on one giant mega sheet. So here it is. So you can, if you're buying the 5th color, you just get the whole 5th color, which has 1 set of glitter headers, and then the rest is labels. So I did just basically put the first, the solid 5th color sampler here, and then on this left half I put the 6th pattern sampler format. So I did just kind of put together stuff that I already have, but I think it works, even though it looks kind of weird with how the little things are not together. But I mean, how it is this is the pattern and this is the solid, so I don't want them to be so next to each other that you can't really tell the difference. But yeah, so this was a kind of gritty sandy color, not sandy color, sandy texture, but I think I recolored it to match the green that I wanted to use for the 5th color. So yeah, it's very subtle pattern, but that's what it is. And yeah, that green matches the leaves, that thing, some other stuff too that I don't remember exactly, but it matches, believe me. Believe you me. Okay, a lot of add-ons as usual. In addition to the 5th color sampler, we have our heart checklists, we have our heart flag checklists. I didn't even go over the freebie, which there's 2 freebies. One, of course, is the alternate 2 versions of the hand holding the ice cream, and then another flat lay freebie featuring a close-up of more stuff that I didn't really get to feature, like the spray bottle, face mist, this cooling towel, which I wasn't sure what the size of that was supposed to be, because it looked like it was supposed to be a handheld thing, but I mean, it's supposed to be a towel, so is it a face towel? I don't know, I've never seen this product. But yeah, I wanted to put the melting chocolate somewhere too, so I had to do another flat lay for that purpose. And then I brought in these additional glasses from the basics clip art as well, just to have more varieties of glasses being shown. We have our patterned boxes. We have the label sampler. We have the 6th pattern, which is the sky. And then we have fashion, which is all 8 options that she includes in the clip art. So whatever you want, it is available to you. So we have light skin red hair, light skin blonde hair. Oh yeah, again, there's another fashion girl that is only available on these fashion sheets, which is this girl with the fan. Light skin black hair, light skin brown hair, medium skin black hair. So this one would be the one that I would choose. Medium skin brown hair, and then dark skin black hair, dark skin brown hair. And then finally washi. We have the 4 main colors of the kit, plus the sun pattern for the patterned washi. So yeah, that is Heatwave, which I definitely need to use because it's always applicable. Alright, and then next we have At Home, which is my version of using all of Nellie's basics clip art to form one kit, just so I make sure it's all used. Because I do pull a lot of it into other kits, but I feel like some of it I'm just never gonna pull in just throughout the course of my kit designing journey. I was worried about not all of it being featured, and I was like, well, there's clearly enough here to make a kit, and somebody did do this right when she first came out with it, so I'm not the first one. I don't remember exactly who it was, but it's been enough time since then that I'm like, let's bring it back. I want to do my version. And I did bring the the fashion people in from her freebie clip art set. And I don't know if the other person did that. So that's why there's like random girls in here, because they were not originally included. But yeah, I mean, everything else like kind of has the same color scheme. It has like other options for colors as well, but she included pretty much everything in like the 4 main colors that I chose, which are this pink color. These are supposed to be like gold and silver because a lot of the elements were gold and silver. And then for the 4th color, I just went with like a white. It's a little bit of like a light gray, because I don't want to do like solid white, because I feel like that's kind of a faux pas in the kit designing world, is doing solid white anything. So there's 2 light grays, and they look identical in a lot of places in the kit, but I wanted to keep it neutral and true to the colors of the art, so that's what it is. And it was that or doing black, and I really didn't want to do black. Maybe I did black as the 5th color. I don't know. Let's find out. But yeah, I kind of like how this turned out. It's, you know, I just did it at home because it's a lot of like extremely basic around the house stuff for the most part. Some of the scenes I didn't include were like outdoor scenes because I didn't, you know, it's at home, it's home interior based. So I might use those somewhere else, but yeah, it's just kind of around the house vibes. This is the ultimate anytime kit. So yeah, our 2 random fashion people are up here. We have the girl in the kitchen, and then this girl reading in a cozy chair in like the corner by the staircase. I kind of angled it so that it looks like her foot is resting on that little table that was part of the scene. We have 2 flat lays. This one has the hoodie, headphones, and phone. This one is like a desk flat lay with the journal, a couple pens, glasses, which you may recognize from the Heatwave art, recolored pink, and the teacup. This one has like rosé and wine glasses, which I did recolor that wine to match the kit a little better. And then there's like a little shopping bag in the foreground. And then this box, that's like in front of the dining room. This one's in front of the living room, which has a different set of sunglasses, different teacup, and then a book stack and candle on top, and then a double box scene of the bedroom. There were so many scenes, so you're gonna see a lot of scenes, a lot of double box scenes in here. We have our deco, and then double box scene of the house exterior, which I think I did lighten up that color as well to make it more pastel. I do a lot of recoloring. Glitter headers. I've taken a lot more time lately editing the glitter headers to like make sense, so I spend a lot of time with these instead of just doing a simple like recolor. I recolor many parts of it. So the black specks in these ones are not nearly as stark as they are for like the Heatwave kit, because again, it's a very pastel kit. We have these little things. We have the solids, patterns, which we have this fun tile pattern. These were all patterns from her basics as well. Tile, gold marble, like wood flooring in terrazzo. Rounded boxes, bottom washi, and then our extra box here, which I didn't include this on the main page because of this that I pulled in from the Happily Ever After art. It doesn't really go color-wise with the rest of it, so it's kind of like an extra box. But yeah, this is like another view of the living room scene, and I wanted to put something on the TV, so I was like, Disney Castle, like what else? And then there's like a laptop, a coffee mug, and another pen on there. I do a blur in all of the backgrounds, but almost all the backgrounds, by the way. Like if something is far away, there's a blur. And the amount of blur varies on how far away it is. So like this doesn't have a blur because it's not really in the background. Like she's like part of the scene almost. But these all have blurs. And this one has like a radial blur. So the background is all one scene. Like this table that the stuff is resting on is part of the scene. But I did like almost like a radial blur so that everything from this point upwards is blurred, but the stuff which is supposed to be in the foreground is not. So yeah, I put a lot of effort and a lot of thought into my my art usage, and I'm very proud of it. We have our mini kit page, and then yes, I did do black, or rather dark gray, for the 5th color sampler, and then this brick pattern over here. So yeah, if you do want to bring in that darker color instead of the 2 really light grays, you can do that. Alright, and then our freebie is an alternate skin tone of the Fashion People. So this one was actually included in the art, so there were already 2 versions of that. This girl, there was only her, so I spent a lot of time recoloring her skin and hair to look more like me for selfish reasons. So there's your other option of that. And then we have our heart checklist flags, which I'll just show because we're doing mini sheets. And we have our extra boxes, which include another double box scene. This one is of the living room. I think it's the same as that one. So yeah, living room there, and then an upright box. I wanted to use this coffee mug, so that's where that is. And then a different view of these glasses here, a different coffee mug, and then a pen hiding there in the corner. And then this flat lay with the plate, tiny bit of glasses peeking through there. Flat lay view of coffee on a saucer. And then the shopping bag. This is meant to look like clothes or something coming out of the shopping bag, but you can tell it's the sleeve of the hoodie. I edited a lot of this. And then the phone's resting on the bag. So, well, there's the extra boxes. And then we have our patterned boxes, the heart checklists, label sampler, and then we have our 6th patterns, which are silver marble and pink marble. 6th and 7th patterns, I guess I should say. And then washi, we have, this is the one where the 2 grays look exactly the same. If you order one for me, I am not going to know which one is which if they are next to each other. Actually, I think I can tell this one's the lighter one, this one's darker, but they look identical. In the kit, when they're like directly next to each other, it looks a little better, but the washi's just turned out the same. And the other 2 colors, very light, which I kind of love because it'll be easier to write on. And then the terrazzo is the extra pattern washi option. So yeah, that is at home. I took a lot of creative liberties with that one, but that is what the basics clip art set is for. People who want to be creative. Alright, we have one more kit to go. Finally, we have the Midsummer kit. This is art by Dinda's Palettes, but she has been an artist for a long time. I think she did one of the very first art sets I used, which was the Taylor art, the Taylor Swift art set. But yeah, her art sets lately have been really speaking to me. So I needed to pick up the Midsummer one. I was just in love with this art, and I feel deeply connected to the concept of Midsummer because the movie Midsummer is like a cult classic for me personally. It is kind of disturbing, definitely, but that's why I like it. And it scares me a lot. And I would never go to anything even remotely related to Midsummer, but I vibe with it. The vibes go hard with me. And this art is extremely beautiful. So I needed it in my life. So yeah. And these bold lines and bold designs they translate really well to a kit. Like this, it just stands out in a way that like nothing else does, I feel like. So yeah, obsessed for sure. So our double box scene is this gorgeous scenery of a table sitting outside and then the maypole in the distance. We have our two fashion people here. So gorgeous. We have our flat lays here and here. I pulled in the grass from Nellie's Basics clip art and recolored it to match the grass in the kit because I don't know, I didn't want to put this white dress against the white background that I used for the other flat lays, so it's on the grass. So yeah, that's the white dress that like the girls are wearing, which you'll see in a different box in a minute. And then I think that's one of their like headband type things. And then there's some like candles peeking out here, and then the bouquet of flowers I duplicated as well. This one is the table flat lay. So there's like food dishes here, drinks, candles, and then the flowers duplicated again. And then these two boxes I had to like get really creative because I wanted to use every single upright thing, but I had limited space to do so. So they do look a little busy, but I tried to frame it so that everything makes sense where it is and is not too overlapping in a way that's like painful for the eyes. So there's just like a little bit of overlap, but not a ton. Like I did not want this like hanging mobile to be in this drink. So that's where it is. And I like how you can see the candles through these bottles, but it's not too crazy. And then this space would have been empty, so that is where the maypole went. And yeah, this cake is fun too with the little, I think that's a rune on it. And then this spotlight is another view of the table with these sunflowers, the pitcher and glasses. This is a flower crown, and then another food dish, and then candles as well. And then here's the girls in their white dresses. I wanted to make these girls a double box scene because I know a lot of work went into them. So there they are with, again, the maypole in the background. Have our deco. Glitter headers. Love these colors as well. Little things. Solids. Patterns. Rounded boxes. Bottom washi. And then here's a full box just dedicated to the maypole. And the mini kit page. And the 5th color sampler, which is green to match all the greenery in the kit. And then this pattern is kind of hard to tell unless you look at a certain angle, but it is supposed to be blue flowers in the grass. And then we have another double freebie situation because I can't make up my mind. So we have our 2 hand options showing off the bracelets, and they're kind of like reaching out for that maypole, which is blurred in the background. Yearning for that maypole. So that's one, and then the second one is another food flat lay. I really wanted to like really give the food a chance to shine. I actually did this first, and I did this one second. So you have 2 options of how you want to do the food flat lay situation. There wasn't really enough room to show off everything in this one. So if you want to really show off this particular dish, you might want to use the double box flat lay. But yeah, there's everything on there. And then I also brought out the big box for this one, which I think I've only used it once before in my bookish Christmas art. But I just love this scene so much, and the framing worked really perfectly with this table in the corner and then the maple up in that corner. So that is a big box option if you want to do that instead of the double box scene. And there's some third boxes at the bottom as well. We have our patterned full boxes. We have the heart checklists, label sampler. Sixth color is the grass. And then fashion, we have, oh yeah, on this I also included another full box. It's not available anywhere else. It is the single full box version of the group of girls in front of the maple. It's a different maple. But yeah, if you want to have that option, there it is. So we have the black hair, blonde hair, brown hair, and red hair. And this box is the same in all of them. And then for washi, we have the 4 colors, of course, plus the flowers for the pattern. And yeah, that is Midsummer, and that is everything for new releases. I'll be back soon with the next set of new releases. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, and share, that will be wonderful, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.